Welcome to another episode of Sub-Auteurs. This week we are going into Mortal Kombat! Jesus Christ.
Sorry. Being
Okay,
90s kids, we had to do it.
Go on, yeah. Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
So what movie?
We're going to do Mortal Kombat. Roll the intro!
Yay! And after PV's magical Mortal Kombat inspired
MJ.
Anjo. Misha.
I don't think there's no way to make Misha sound threatening in any way.
Mikhail. Hey, that sounds badass.
You sound like a Russian assassin or something. I don't know. Mikhail.
We should have a techno intro every week.
Okay. Yay! Mortal Kombat 2021. Let's do this. I'm sure you guys have a lot of thoughts and feelings. And if you haven't seen it yet, well, buckle up and get back to us after you've seen it, or listen to us and then form your own opinion after. But we're just going to give you a little heads up.
Absolutely.
I have a lot of thoughts about it, mostly in all caps.
We'll get to that. For anyone who doesn't know, Mortal Kombat 2021 is the third full-length motion picture. Well, motion picture, ang tanda. It's the third full-length film. It's the third full-length film based on the classic Mortal Kombat video game series.
It's a game?
It is a game.
It's the third. I kind of want to forget the second one existed.
You have only yourself to blame. We warned you not to watch Annihilation, but you chose to.
Yep. My mistake was...
I did it for the podcast, guys.
My mistake was watching it as an adult, because I remember enjoying that movie when I was a kid.
Man, you must have been a stupid kid. Annihilation is so bad.
That was, you watch it, you think that the guy who wrote the script was just really wanted these guys to fight.
That is true.
There was no story. It's like slapping on the character select screen and then picking whoever he chose, whoever he wanted to see fight on screen. That's what he did.
For anyone keeping score, the first movie, of course, was Mortal Kombat in 1995, followed by Mortal Kombat Annihilation in 1997. The less said about Annihilation, the better. But for a lot of people, especially nostalgic 90s babies, the 1995 Mortal Kombat has a special place in their hearts as one of the least horrible video game movies made, I think.
At the time. Again, at the time.
At the time. Oh, my goodness. But then again, you only had crap like Super Mario Brothers and Street Fighter to compare.
Hey, Street Fighter was a crap.
I liked Street Fighter.
I love Street Fighter to death, but I cannot swear in a court of law that it's a good movie.
Yeah, it really isn't a good movie. Come on, you get the guy called the Muscles from Brussels to play an all-American guy who couldn't even get rid of the accent.
He couldn't even get rid of the cocaine half the time they were shooting that movie.
The one thing I liked about that movie was Raul Julia when he did it for his kids. That was pretty cool.
Oh man, I miss Gomez Adams.
And that was his last movie, right? That was the last movie he ever made.
Yeah. It came out, I think, after he passed. The Street Fighter is dedicated in his memory. I don't know if he's happy or upset about that up in heaven.
If you think about it, he did it for his kids. I'm pretty sure he's going to be happy about it.
Fine.
Yet, let's go back to Mortal Kombat. How many years later? Since I cannot do math, you guys do the math. 1997, and now
Lord.
fast forward to 2021.
23 years?
26.
Jeez.
97.
I can't math.
23 years since 1997.
Wait, 97 was Annihilation, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's the last one. I thought.
Yeah, that's
sorry,
the
I was thinking about the first one. Was 95.
Yeah, the first one is 25 years old. That's holy crap.
Ooh.
I know I'm going to be dating myself again, but I'm going to say that I remember playing the first video game.
Of course.
Everybody, I think I did.
Yeah, me too.
But I never encountered it in the arcades. I tried it on the Sega Genesis, and I had to do the code to get the blood because parents were so offended by it that they hid the blood in the Sega version. And the Super Nintendo version didn't even have blood.
I remember playing that game with my cousin, and that game had blood on it.
Yeah, you had to put a code in.
No, there was no code. I just remember because my copy was a hand-me-down because my cousin gave me a
maybe from that hand-me-down, that's how it was able to be activated.
I think so. I don't know, but I remember the blood.
I remember like the first few times my brother and I were playing it, like my mom had to watch just to see that it wasn't, warping our fragile little minds.
Also,
it was really a big deal. It was because of Mortal Kombat that video games had to have ratings after that.
Yep. It was controversial back then because of all the violence it apparently taught children.
Mm-hmm.
And then you realize how stupid the anatomy of that game was because every time you would have exploding bodies, they'd have like 3 rib cages.
But part of the fun of it was, Street Fighter was already a thing, right? People were already beating each other up in video game screens, but this one just took the gore, just added gore. You could rip people's heads off. You could pull their hearts out of their chest. Mm-hmm. It was something that we'd never seen. And when you consider at the time, people going to arcades were older teenagers, it made sense. But the second it got onto consoles, parents went insane.
Well,
it was like a cover story of Time magazine. My father actually took the time to photocopy that entire story and he brought it home. I think he was trying to warn us or some shit. I still have it.
It was actually one of those. It was one of those fighting games where actually, it's the first fighting game to actually ever give you the choice to consciously kill your opponent at the end of every match.
That's true.
I think that was also why it was so controversial, or why parents were so against it, because it was literally teaching kids how to kill.
Part of the mystique was that the fatalities weren't on an instruction manual somewhere, and there were no websites. So if you were the kid who knew how to pull somebody's heart out of their chest, you were automatically cool at school.
Yes, I remember this. We would play, and then once the finish him or finish her would come out, whenever that would come out, you would experiment with many different moves on what fatality would actually happen.
Right?
It's let's try back, forward, something. Oh, next time let's try down, up, something. You know what I mean? It's experimentation to get the most brutal finisher possible, and that was so much fun.
We would jot them down, I think, in my brother's sketchbook, and at some point I think I
had one of those.
I translated it into a Word document at some point because we didn't have the internet. What the hell, man? Where were we going to get these moves?
Magazines, tips and tricks.
Magazines. Do you remember when magazines were a thing?
Tips and tricks, Game
you
Pro.
used to work for one.
I know. That's what I remember as I was asking you guys. Good Lord. So Mortal Kombat 1 came out around 1991, 92, and the movie came out barely 3 years later.
Wow, I can't believe I played that game when I was 5. I got away with playing that game when I was 5.
And look at you now, well-adjusted adult human.
Yeah, well,
And to think just so you guys know, Anja and I have been binging a lot of true crime YouTube videos. So it's ta-da, testament to the violence we witnessed as children.
The fascination with...
And you're also well-adjusted.
Am I?
Self-incriminating podcast this episode.
Okay. So the 95 movie was fun, campy nonsense, right? 1997 sequel was absolute garbage.
Nonsense.
It was just
nonsense.
Just nonsense.
Well,
even the CG was nonsense because
oh my god, it was so bad.
That scene where Sonya Blade rescues Jax from this unknown facility, which you didn't know why she was doing that, and then this thing, whatever it was, pops up, and then just Jax beats him down. I don't even know what that scene was meant for.
Screen time. It was meant to eat screen time, and it did.
Oh, it's true.
But let's talk about 2021. When this new movie was announced, there was a lot of excitement because the director in charge, his name is Kevin Tanchari. I know I'm going to get this wrong, and I apologize in advance. Kevin Tanchari. Kevin T. His name is Kevin T. Letter T. And so sorry. He'd actually done some work on a web series called Mortal Kombat Legacy a few years ago, which I really enjoyed.
Yes.
It was
That
It
web
was
series
great.
was great.
It was true to the characters. It was gritty. It had a little bit of blood in it, and it was great.
More than anything else, it had this cohesive storyline that was very faithful to the original concept the creators had.
It was a web series. What the hell? I mean, like, who pays attention to those things?
I did. You did.
Fair and yeah, we did. But you know, Machinima doesn't even exist now, for heaven's sake. But that's where it was. So this guy, he was like the producer, director, and it got enough notice that almost immediately rumors started up that this guy's going to make a movie. This guy's going to make a movie. But it took them like almost 10 years to get it done. And now it's here. And, well,
that
it's a
awkward
movie.
Pause after.
It's a
really
movie.
That awkward pause after. And...
Objectively speaking, it was a shit show.
It really, a shit show.
It really was
a show of shit.
However,
I'm just gonna say, but hey, shit shows are fun to do podcasts on, so buckle up.
Yeah. I did, however, enjoy it. So.
You would.
Some point, yes.
I did.
I enjoyed parts of it.
Yeah, in a way.
It's just when they tried to justify those parts, I got so upset.
To be more specific, I did enjoy most of it past a certain point and then would stop after.
Okay, let's talk. We'll get to that. Let's tell them what the movie's about. For anyone keeping score, the movie is about a washed-up mixed martial arts fighter named Cole Young, played by Louis Tan, who you last saw as Shatterstar in Deadpool 2. He was one of X-Force, and he died horribly in like 10 seconds, basically.
What was his death? Oh, he was the helicopter death.
Yeah,
helicopter.
He was.
He was the one. He landed on the helicopter blades.
X-Force!
Yeah.
I do not recall any of these, but okay. I guess...
Green Blood. That was him.
Okay.
Take our word for it.
Maybe I didn't remember because I didn't see his abs.
Priorities.
I almost spat out my drink there.
Anyway.
So Cole Young is like a loser mixed martial arts fighter whose ringman is his daughter, who he cares about deeply. One day, his family gets attacked by Sub-Zero, and he is rescued by a special forces operative named Jax, who tells him to run for his life, save your family, I'll take care of the ice guy. What Cole Young discovers is that Sub-Zero is part of an interdimensional fighting tournament called Mortal Kombat.
Sorry, we just.
And that tournament will decide the fate of the Earth. Basically, if the bad guys win 10 rounds of Mortal Kombat, Earth is theirs. We're all doomed. Cole Young has to save us. What happens next?
It was on their, and then Earth is supposedly on their last token and their last life, right? Because they've lost 9 tournaments.
They've already won 9 tournaments.
Yeah, there you go.
The bad guys have won 9 tournaments, so yeah, basically we're screwed.
Mm-hmm.
And the ones who will fight for Earth, you'll be able to identify them through some handy-dandy birthmarks that they just happen to have.
Yeah, birthmarks shaped like dragons. What a birthmark.
Interestingly enough, they're shaped like the logo of the game.
Oh,
Even more interestingly enough, there are no qualifications for Champion of Earthrealm other than the birthmark. The best part is it's transferable.
Like,
is that like a membership card?
I don't know. I just know, like, if Cole Young gets food poisoning, the chef who made the sandwich is now the Champion of Earthrealm.
Yeah. So basically, in this new movie, they added like a new mythology to it by like saying that the Earth's chosen ones are actually these people or these bearers of this magical, mystical birthmark that is just like it has the funniest reveal, by the way. So it's
Yes,
my god, the reveal was so stupid.
It was like a bro thing. It was like, I like the tattoo, bro. Like, okay, cool. This thing.
Oh my god!
And then you find out later, I got one of those too. Like, what the?
It's so dumb. And so you'd see it on Cole while he was doing his MMA fight, and then later on when Jax approaches them and talks to them, he's dressed now, right? And talking about
ink,
bro, cool ink, blah blah blah. And then daughter goes, "Oh, it's actually a birthmark. It's really cool. Show him, Dad." Tapos parang, "Tara, dragon. Uloy, birthmark."
that no doctor ever questioned in any of his in his entire life.
I know. Well, first things first. First things first. Who the fuck is Cole Young? Like I played all of the games. I played all of the games, most if not all. There was no Cole Young ever. We've gone from like the original to like the children of Johnny Cage.
Yep.
Now you have Cole Young. Like Cole Young was never in any of the games.
I don't know, but apparently the intention for Cole Young was to give the audience a fresh POV character to learn all about Mortal Kombat so that they could appreciate the mythology. But you're right. There have been dozens and dozens of characters over the last 30 years. There's no reason for them to have had to come up with a new guy. Mm-hmm. Especially one as outright boring as Cole Young.
Other than that, you have all of these cultural icons in Scorpion, Sub-Zero, and Liu Kang's Sonya Blade.
Yep.
They left out Johnny Cage, which is like, one of the biggest crimes of the movie is leaving out Johnny Cage.
Well, I think they were gunning for a sequel.
I think they're
going to get it.
They're going to get the sequel.
They're going to get it.
There's actually like, there's a good following, or there's a good fan base for this movie as well. Not surprisingly though, but which is why I kind of like the movie. We'll get to that at some point because right now we're still kind of dissecting what it is.
I think my biggest issue with the movie is that there is no Mortal Kombat tournament in the movie.
Yes.
This is the 4 hours of crap you watch before WrestleMania starts, basically. This is the pre-show.
The story was basically the set during the pre-tournament or the pre-show.
Why are we in the pre-tournament? It's not hard to make a Mortal Kombat movie. You just need a tournament with mortal consequences to the combat that is taking place in said tournament. That's it.
Combat with the K.
Birthmarks. You don't need
combat
Cole.
with a K. Mortal Kombat with a K.
Combat.
Putting K's in C's before the Kardashians ever did. Anyway.
Yes.
Narrative-wise, they explained it saying that these bad guys, despite having the upper hand, still don't want like a Mortal Kombat because wala lang. It's like we just want to guarantee our win. So let's kill these motherfucking chosen ones before the combat tournament even starts.
Then why is the movie called Mortal Kombat?
Well, there was actual Mortal Kombat, just not in the official Mortal Kombat tournament.
So there was, but there wasn't?
Technically speaking, meron.
Meron dapat.
I'm just saying, fighting tournament, wacky martial arts styles, colorful characters. It's really not rocket science. They didn't have to overthink it, honestly.
No, it's just funny because if it's the guy who did who developed that great web series,
that he should have known that.
Yeah, I mean, he could have just picked up from what he did because the web series was great. He even had Jerry Ryan in it.
That was a good web series. It was. But I'm sorry. Look, I love the 95 Mortal Kombat for all its cheesiness and campiness. But at the end of the day, the best version of Mortal Kombat, the movie, is still stuff like Bloodsport or Enter the Dragon. Because they don't need to add all the extra stuff. They know that you're coming for the tournament. That's what you want to see. You want to see the Mortal Kombat.
It's funny how you mentioned Bloodsport because Johnny Cage's character was actually based on Jean-Claude Van Damme.
That's right. Oh my God, that's right.
Even his outfit in the first game was supposedly designed after Jean-Claude Van Damme's character in Bloodsport, the red belt.
That's right.
Shorts.
Midway wanted to do like a licensed game with Van Damme because he was super hot after Bloodsport. But
Van Damme's super hot.
He was too expensive or he was too much of a prima donna, and then Street Fighter came out, the game. And they said, we don't need a franchise title. We can make our own. Look, there's another fighting game with no artistas attached. So they said, okay, we don't need Van Damme. Let's do our own thing. And they did, and it was great.
Mm-hmm. It was actually, I think it was both. He was being a prima donna and, he was expensive.
Well, I'm just glad they didn't need him in the end. Because can you imagine if Johnny Cage had a Belgian accent in every single version of this game?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Jesus. That would be weird. Okay, so back to this
Okay. So Cole Young meets up with a special agent named Sonya Blade and an international terrorist criminal, whatever, I don't even know anymore, named Kano, who is obnoxiously Australian.
Just say some
Australian douchebag.
And he provides much of Anjo's comic relief.
Yes. I love how obnoxious he was.
Take note, Anjo's comic relief.
Anjo loved him.
Specifically.
Anjo loved him.
Not me.
So much.
Not me, Sha. Just Anjo.
Just me.
And maybe some other dude I know on Twitter, but just you and that.
I don't know. Majority of the feedback I've seen is just Kano saved the movie. Like Kano saved everything about the movie. That's majority of the feedback.
Really?
And I agree.
Really?
Yeah. I swear, take him out, and they're just gonna be extra annoying because you don't have an annoying guy to focus on. Hey, shit, you're not. Liu Kang? Shit, Liu Dilin was so bad in this movie.
I mean,
can I just share the whole thing about Kano, right?
For me, take Kano out. It would be a little bit more boring. It would be more boring, honestly, but it would have saved me so much annoyance, honestly.
I love his lines.
As far here's the crazy thing about Kano, right? Like, he's like super Australian in this movie, and he's been Australian for years. What a lot of people don't remember is that Kano was not Australian until the 1995 movie, when he was played by a British dude, and everybody swears that nobody told him to play it as Australian. He just made it up on the spot. He decided, I'm going to be Australian for this character. And that's the way Kano's been ever since. So I hope you're happy, Anjo.
Did this 2021 version have to be Australian?
I mean, in the games,
I just honestly was pretty pissed off.
The one thing I hated was that, one of Kano's more defining qualities or traits is that he has this like cybernetic implant on his face. Jesus Christ. Let's call it the Phantom of the Opera mask on his face.
See, that would have been cool. A cyborg eye that shoots lasers, that would have been cool.
No!
Please explain the source of all the super moves in this thing that we watched.
So apparently, if you are gifted with a tattoo, sorry, not a tattoo. Sorry. Birthmark. If you're gifted with a chosen one's birthmark.
Annoying.
You somehow harness your chi or whatever. You somehow practice and develop your.
Wasn't it called the Akana?
Akana, yeah, there you go. Yeah, this mystical energy called the Akana.
I got issues with that mystical energy.
And then you have superpowers all of a sudden.
Okay, wait. So
he has a fucking laser cybernetic implant. He doesn't need a fucking Akana, this mystical energy of some sort.
At some point, Kano, Sonya, and what's his face, Cole Young, have to go to Raiden's temple, and there they learn all the back story of Mortal Kombat.
Okay.
And that's and that's where they learn that if you train hard enough, you can release your superpowers.
The only reason why I enjoyed Kano so much is that if you wanted somebody to be the POV character for newcomers of the movie, is that it didn't work on Cole Young.
They could have made anybody a POV character.
It was Kano who was doing all of that because he was like a little kid, saying everything so fantastic about this, this world, how violent it is. I killed someone. Kano. It's just so funny. It's like, I want to get my superpowers.
Kano is our POV character. I want somebody else's V.
You want this? What? That
made sense in my head. It made sense in my head.
Yeah.
Shut up. No. Oh my God. You people are disgusting.
Are we?
You want to rephrase that, buddy? Clarify.
Moving along. Okay, so if you train hard enough, over the next few days, you're going to develop superpowers. Now, here's the thing. Jax lost his arms while fighting Sub-Zero.
It was cool, though, how he lost his arms.
That was cool.
The only trouble was that when we next see Jax, he has these scrawny pre-C3PO robot arms that were put on him by monks, it seems, that worship Raiden.
They literally look like those claws in the arcades where you get stuffed toys.
The claw machines.
That claw.
That claw.
That claw.
Exactly. That's how they look like to me.
He had these little chicken arms. I'm like, these monks were just taking the piss. I'm like, do you call that helping? Really? But here's the funny thing.
When he gets his Akana,
right, his superpower.
Yeah, they thicken up. You know, his arms go thickums now.
So I got a question. What the hell would his superpower have been if he didn't have robot arms?
We'll never know.
What, would his regular arms just grow up to like steroid size? Like, what how would that work?
Yeah.
And the superpowers account for robot arms.
He already looked like he was roided out anyway.
And robot eyes, apparently.
And robot eyes, which can come out when you throw a fucking temper tantrum at the dining table.
Oh my God, that temper tantrum was so unbearable. Oh my God, that's where I really, really hated
I wanted to strangle him.
I wanted to punch him in the face, and I'm just laughing because he was entertained.
I know. Why is he so happy?
I was so fucking annoyed.
Sorry. It was Liu Kang and Kung Lao. Kung Lao was my favorite character in the game. It was because they were so funny. It was so juvenile.
Pushing his buttons.
The reason why I found it so funny is that because they were so serious. They were supposedly, warriors gonna save the world. And everything about this movie was just so juvenile, which I found really entertaining and I found refreshing. So, the thing that I enjoyed about it is that this movie really did not try to pretend that it was going to be anything serious.
I think the funny thing is, like what you said, the characters were acting juvenile, but the story was trying to take it so seriously.
Yes.
And that's what took me out of it.
Even their mentors.
They tried to explain so much through the mythology, through the backstory, and we're gonna look for this mysterious Mortal Kombat.
You're not watching a movie called Mortal Kombat for the story or the character progression. You're watching it to watch people kick each other's ass with superpowers.
Yep.
Actually, if they did act that juvenile as how they have been portraying their characters, it would have worked for a tournament setting. But you give us this little timeline, or you give us this narrative with adventures and trying to save the world and shit outside of the Mortal Kombat. So it's like, it's out of place.
Yeah, that's what I didn't like about the movie. That's why this movie sucked. But then everything that was fun about it was not because of it being faithful to the game. It's just because it was being stupid. That's what I like. That's what I found enjoyable. Is that there was really nothing to take seriously about this movie. It's like, this movie knows what it is. Yeah. Just watch it. Just turn off your brain, enjoy all the fight scenes, and whatever else you find funny. I found funny was just gravy on top of something really dumb.
I agree with what you just said, but I don't think like what you said, they knew what they were doing. I don't think they knew what they were doing. It just happened to be funny.
I don't think that was intentional.
Yeah.
I think they were really taking it seriously.
I feel like they were.
Past the explanation, past all this mythology, you knew they knew where it was going. It was sunod-sunod na. It was just so blatant. All the fatality moves, all the things.
Yeah.
But that's just shoehorning in the things that we wanted to see. It's like, you can't just have somebody say fatality for no reason and say, oh, look, we made a reference. Or like Kano just saying crap like, Kano wins. I'm like, yeah, we all saw you. Who are you talking to? What the hell, man?
Did he say that?
At least in the first one, you had you had somebody who actually had a reason to say those. You had Shang Tsung. You had Shang Tsung saying who won or who didn't in that combat setting.
And in that context, it worked.
I hated this Shang Tsung. I'm sorry.
This Shang Tsung was a wimp. This is the guy that Christian Bale kidnapped out of Hong Kong in The Dark Knight.
Yep.
The whiny little banker. Yes, this is the master of Outworld. This is the most feared sorcerer in all the dimensions. The whiny little banker from The Dark Knight.
But
this movie.
at the very least, okay, we rant about it all we want, but at least it's fun for those who played the video game. So the references were not subtle at all.
No, they're not.
There is no subtlety, zero subtlety. Like even just like introducing the character names, it's so ridiculously
so
upfront.
bad.
Melina.
It's so bad.
Malina.
Okay. Basta they just or like I'm Kano or I'm Son. You know, it's always just like some obvious exposition of the character names. Just so parang sinasabi ng writers, just so we're clear, just so you know, this is the character.
Do you get it? That was a reference.
And the frustrating thing was like you got to like see all these characters, okay, like yeah, this character, and they're so not subtle about introducing them. But at this whole time, you're still wondering who the fuck Cole Young is.
But I think that's what frustrated me the most, because they spend so much time trying to over-explain things, but the things that they're supposed to be doing, they just throw them in one after the other just to make a reference, and then they move on. It's like they're spending too much time on crap that we don't need, and the stuff that we want to see, they just throw it in as a wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yes. Again, I have read articles saying that certain things about this movie were studio decisions and not exactly the creative.
Be that as it may, we can only judge what we see on the screen, right?
Yes. True.
Yeah. But
something that worked, and I'm not gonna lie, something that really worked for me was the relationship between Scorpion and Sub-Zero, and that's what the movie actually opens on. In fact,
actually, that's one of the best parts of the movie.
A week before the movie opened, Warner Brothers actually released like the first 10 minutes of the movie, and that's for 7 minutes, and that's where you see the beginnings of Scorpion, who is played by Hiroyuki Sanada, and
Joe Taslim as Sub-Zero.
Yes, exactly. And you see how they start off, and it is well choreographed, well acted,
so cool.
Violent as shit, well shot. I realized,
your statement of well choreographed, like what do you expect more from Joe Taslim and Hiroyuki Sanada? They're both well-trained martial artists.
But like, I was just gonna say that, why couldn't the whole movie be like that? Or why couldn't the whole movie be about them? If it was going to be a prequel to Mortal... If it was going to be a prequel to the tournament, fuck it, follow these two guys. I don't care about Cole Young.
Nobody cares about Cole Young.
I don't think Cole Young cares about Cole Young.
Okay, fine. He's very attractive. That's all I'm going to say. But that's where I draw the line. That's where I draw the line. I'm not gonna defend his entire character just because I think he's hot. But I'm just gonna say that he's hot, period.
You're saying you'd get the same enjoyment out of him if he was a JPEG.
Cole Young. It's true though. It's true.
It's true. Okay. So going back to that whole origin of Sub-Zero,
that was super cool.
That was super
so bloody.
Cool. It was giving me Rurouni Kenshin movie vibes.
Yes.
In a good way.
It was the historical epic. You had the amazing fight scenes, and then you could see where their rivalry stems from. But the bad thing is, it just started out. For that first 7 minutes, that was the best part of the movie, and it went downhill from there. And
you know what made me sad? It made me sad because I realized, so that's why they released the first 7 minutes, to make us think that everything that came after would be just as good.
But no,
did it? So that's why we were set up to believe that it's gonna be so serious and good.
Yeah,
right?
we were so excited.
Yeah, because like you had a serious intro with Sub-Zero and Scorpion, so I was expecting like either if you don't continue on with this origin story, at least make it as epic. But
Nope.
No.
That was honestly the best part, how they concluded the movie. At least they bookended it with good fights.
I guess, but my problem with it was a literal bookend.
Yeah.
He's Scorpion at the beginning, and then you see him at the end. What the hell happened in between?
And when you see him in the end, you're like, what the fuck?
So let me get this straight.
Where'd he come from?
He's been dead for like 200-300 years, and he only learned one sentence in English.
And then
Get over here.
and then you realize like Scorpion is not a champion of Earthrealm. He's not a chosen one.
Yeah, why is he here? Why is any of this happening? I really like the Scorpion Sub-Zero stuff. I just wish there was more of it. And I really didn't need any more of Cole Young, honestly. He tries to get involved in the big fight at the end, but, at the end of the day, these two are the most famous fighters from Mortal Kombat. You don't give a crap about the new guy. You want to see Orange Ninja beat the shit out of Blue Ninja and using all of their superpowers.
It's Yellow Ninja.
Yellow Ninja, whatever. You just want to see them beat the crap out of each other with their ice, fire, and spears on chains. And magical mastery of the English language for one sentence.
Yep. Actually, that counts for Scorpion only. Sub-Zero doesn't say anything in the game.
Yeah, but this one speaks Chinese and everyone understands him. Even Cole, who grew up in Chicago his whole life, understands the Chinese guy and the Japanese revenge demon in front of him.
I like how Hanzo Sasaki, was it? No, it's Hanzo, is literally like a multilingual ninja. So is Bihan, because he can speak in Japanese. I know Bihan's the multilingual one because he can speak in Japanese.
I think he was also, was he able to speak in English? I don't know. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, he did speak in English too. Every time he would talk to Cole.
I don't care.
I
don't think the filmmakers cared either, so it's okay.
Yeah, they didn't.
Wait. Can we point this out? Every time Scorpion and Sub-Zero would speak in native tongue, you would have Raiden, who had this weird Japanese accent. Why can't he just speak in Japanese if everybody can understand?
Yeah,
look,
that's what I brought up before. That why are you letting Sub-Zero and Scorpion speak in Chinese and Japanese? Meanwhile, you have Shang Tsung and Raiden speak English, but with their broken Asian accents. Like you could hear the struggle.
Okay,
it's like,
I think,
why do you let the others speak in their quote unquote whatever is native tongue?
To be fair, I think
are they adjusting to Cole?
The fact that we actually have an Asian dude as Raiden at all is already progress over the last one. So I think I'll allow it.
The last one.
That's true.
The last one. That's right.
There were two different white Raidens in the first two movies.
How fucking sad is it that the best live action Raiden was still the guy who played Highlander, who barely knew how to speak English at the time? I mean, seriously. This is embarrassing. And the Raiden that they got for this movie is also kind of an idiot. Like, he puts the champions of Earthrealm in his temple behind an electric fence so they can cram their superpower studies.
He was just showing off. He's got magic. It's just
why was he doing that? The entire fate of Earth is at hand.
I know why, because it looked cool.
Fine, it looks cool, but later on you find out that Raiden has a pocket dimension that Shang Tsung cannot penetrate.
Because that does not look cool.
Yeah, but you could have taken them there, and they could have learned their superpowers and come back, and nobody had to die.
Again, that does not look cool. Which is why this Raiden is an idiot, because he does not think of the practical reasons of using his power.
Okay, it gets worse because that shithead says that he cannot interfere in the tournament or in the preparation, but all he does is literally interfere.
Yep. Like. Every time I would watch that, I'd be like, isn't he like...
he's protecting the fighters. He's cock-blocking Shang Tsung.
My whole thought of while watching this movie, because I was watching this with my wife.
Right.
And at that time, it was just our first week of being a parenthood. Yay! Anyway, we needed something to kind of chill because we were stressed. So we decided to watch this movie.
Sub-Zero helped you chill.
Yeah, it was the movie that we watched where
sorry.
Oh my God. I just got that now. Oh.
Fatherhood has slowed your reflexes.
Oh no.
That's why Scorpion lost. Oh, anyway.
Oh shit.
You bastard.
Yeah, shit. Why do you think he got so much stronger? Anyway, Yeah, so that one weekend we decided to turn our brains off and watch this movie. And then we just started laughing at everything we were watching.
When are you going to turn your brain back on?
Right about now. I'll give you this, Nisha. You get first round. Mark my words, I will have fatality.
Okay, look, if nothing else...
Oh my goodness.
Okay, if nothing else, this movie, when it counts, it looks really cool, okay? It looks really cool during the fights. The CGI is pretty decent. Goro looks amazing.
Fuck Goro, man.
Oh yeah, I love
They
how
did Goro dirty. They did him wrong.
They did, but let's
Later,
get to how
later.
he looks first. He wasn't that long torsoed claymation piece of shit in the
he
90s
was a robot.
version.
To be
He wasn't
fair, he was
claymation. He was a robot.
an
He
animatronic.
looked like he looked clay to me, but too bad he doesn't get kicked in the balls in this one because that was funny back
Yeah, that
then.
was fun. Yeah, that's why you needed Johnny Cage to do that down C move. Those are the commands. Down C. Sorry, I remember. That was from
Speaking of the commands, at least, at the very least, if you know the video game, you could see like in the fight choreography, they really did squeeze in the references in there. You've got the fight choreography to fit the fighting styles of the characters, and you've got their little moves and fatalities and classic lines from the game.
Interestingly enough, they got stunt coordinators and the fight choreographers from the original Mortal Kombat movie, which was cool. They were the same team that worked with Robin Shou in the first movie, and they were the guys who trained Louis Tan and everyone else. And they trained in Thailand, I think. They trained in Bangkok.
I thought it was hilarious that they have this whole bit where Liu Kang is basically just sweeping.
I love that part. I'm so sorry.
Kicking the shit out of Kano over and over again. I'm like, I'm guilty of that too. I think at some point.
Yep. This is why that scene was just so funny to me because I remember winning games against my sister just doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. It's at least it's like I remember if you've played the game at some point, you're like, yes, that's how it went. Awesome.
But I think also with the fights, it has the same problem as the storytelling, the dialogue, and everything else. It's like, it's really, when you look at this movie, it's a case of misplaced priorities. So yes, we have the coolest looking live action Goro
Parang tinatamaan ako dyan
No, I'm just
Wait
saying.
lang, misplaced priorities.
I'm just
Wait
saying.
lang.
MJ, relax. Do not point the spotlight at
Think
yourself.
of Louis Tan's abs.
Now
Think of Louis Tan's abs.
Hindi ikaw yung target ni Misha kanina. Ngayon, you just made yourself a target.
Hindi, yun nga yung joke. Na-explain nyo pa yung joke, kaya sinabi kong joke yun. That was my joke. Anyway.
Oh, Anjo.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Fatherhood has slowed your reflexes. But anyways, what was I going to say?
Buti na lang wala akong kalaban na Sub-Zero.
No. As far as I'm concerned, the whole misplaced priorities thing, it's like we have the coolest live action version of Goro ever. Let's not even let him see the beginning of Mortal Kombat, the tournament, and kill him in front of a barn. What the actual hell?
It was so bad because they built him. They built him up. They didn't even reveal how he looked like. You know, like
and then he gets killed by a guy with an organic muscle shirt.
For guys who aren't familiar with the guy who was cosplaying as Aquaman.
Yes, that would make sense too.
Which made Gore even more pathetic was that he lost to a guy who was cosplaying as Aquaman.
He lost to a newbie. He lost to a rookie, for God's sake, in the middle of nowhere.
In the middle of
he lost to a guy who has to be constantly reminded by his daughter to use the uppercut, Dad.
That was
down
so cringe. That was so cringe.
Down
multiple times. It's like, okay, we get it. You're the daughter. You're the inspiration. You don't have to fucking tell him every single move that he has to do. Use the uppercut, Dad.
And then, if you're gonna tell me that, Raiden let Kung Lao die and let them all get their asses kicked for 15 minutes because he could not interfere, why bother showing up at all only to interfere, to take them all to safety, and then the last 10 minutes of the movie is him super interfering by helping them assassinate every one of Shang Tsung's men. So, like, what the hell is the point of the tournament if everyone's going to be killing each other before the damn thing even starts?
Or like Raiden saying, "Oh, I can't interfere," but like him teleporting people to places.
Exactly.
It's pretty much the same thing.
And like the stupidest thing, the absolute stupidest thing.
Oh, there's more.
What you said earlier about how you don't have an announcer or a referee to say things like fatality or flawless victory. Here, you got people calling out their own shit. It's like Liu Kang kills Cabal, and then he goes, fatality for Kung Lao. And I'm like, first off, Cabal didn't kill Kung Lao. Shang Tsung did. And number two, who the hell are you saying fatality for? There's nobody here.
No,
there's literally nobody here.
You're jumping the gun. Kung Lao did it first when he killed Nitara, who, by the way, was built up so much, and then, she dies in not even landing a blow.
No. He got a rim job from his hat.
Yep. Which was cool because that's his actual fatality in the game.
That was very cool.
But then you have him say flawless victory.
Yeah, it's like, who the hell are you talking to, Kung Lao?
parang lahat sila nagbubuhat ng sariling bangko.
Guys,
exactly.
Wow, ang galing ko! Ang galing ko, flawless
guys,
victory yun!
Apparently, if you have a kana or if you're a chosen one, meron kayong ibang level of self-awareness.
Or maybe you just lose all sense of self-awareness and you just start acting like a moron.
Well, that could be true.
And look, okay. Just to put context into this, Kano dies in a freaking RV. I mean, come on.
Outside of freaking
Fine,
RV.
outside the freaking RV.
He dies because of
started in
fucking...
the RV. The point is, why couldn't he die in Mortal Kombat, in a movie called Mortal Kombat?
Wait. He dies via Garden Gnome 2.
Oh my God, I just remembered that. Thank you.
Okay, this is where I'm gonna be silver lining. But that was actually the only emotionally satisfying moment was Sonya killing Kano and earning her birthmark.
Yes. How'd you get your birthmark, Sonya?
It's like, that's how she got her birthmark. But okay, it's satisfying because one, finally Kano shuts the fuck up. Finally. And two, because like I guess in the start of the movie they keep piling on like, oh sorry Sonya Blade, you're not one of us. You're not a chosen one because you don't have the tattoo or
but
the
you can stay and watch.
But you can stay and watch and eat and hang out. So they keep piling it on her, and then finally she earns it by killing the single most annoying guy, or to Anja's case, the most entertaining guy
in the movie.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I hated about is that Sonya Blade ever since was supposed to be, she was supposed to be one of the best. Like she wasn't supposed to be treated as a joke. Like, you're not a chosen one. Yeah, just sit back there. She's Sonya Blade. She was probably one of the first few standouts as one of the strong female characters in game.
Yeah, she's totally who I used to use. Well, it was a rotation between her and Kitana, who was not in this movie. Annoying.
Yeah.
So,
like I said, I will still go back to what Nisha said in the first. What Nisha said earlier is that this franchise literally had no shortage of interesting characters. Why the fuck would you have Cole Young? Like, you could have easily put in Kitana in place of Cole Young, or Johnny Cage in place of Cole Young.
Yeah.
Which adds to the fact that Melina's character did not make sense because her character is not supposed to exist without Kitana.
Exactly. She's like supposed to be some sort of freaky tooth bitch clone. And going back to that emotionally satisfying moment. So yes, Kano's dead. Yay. Sonya earns her mark. Yay. So happy for her. But I just personally wish that fight was more violent. Or maybe I just hate Kano that much. Or you guys weren't satisfied either because it was a fucking garden.
No, it wasn't. Because compared to the first movie, it was actually Kano and Sonya who were fighting each other. Like, mano and mano.
This one you had fucking neck with her legs.
This one you had Sonya Blade trying to be Kevin McAllister, in the RV prior to killing Kano. That's why it kind of something like, that's not really Mortal Kombat. That's just kind of like crappy.
I have to ask though, right? Okay, so let's do the numbers, right? Kano's dead, Cabal's dead, Melina's dead, Sub-Zero's dead. Who else is dead? Kung Lao. Who else am I missing?
Goro.
Did I say Kung Lao twice? I don't care anymore. But
you didn't say Goro.
Oh, Goro's dead. Okay, so that's like 6 whole people, right? That's like 6 people.
Mm-hmm.
And
Nitara. And Cabal.
Okay, fine. So 7 people are dead. Who the hell are we going to be watching in Mortal Kombat 2 that's interesting?
Baraka.
Here's the funny thing. Shang Tsung covers his ass for the sequel by saying that death is just another obstacle, which implies that all of the deaths that happened here were meaningless. Which also implies, why the hell did we watch this movie if everything is going to happen in the next one?
Never mind. I was going to attempt to explain
nothing we saw mattered. Nothing.
Not even going to try. But, I mean, Scorpion suddenly came up from the dead, so there's hope.
But he already found peace. He avenged his family already. So he's probably not in hell anymore.
What we did, which is why that story was such a waste, because, him being able to return, or why he's able to return or participate in these things could have been such a bigger story.
I'm just like, why would you shoot yourself in the foot that way?
Because,
And then they cover their ass by saying, death, no big. Oh my God, then why did you make us sit through this movie?
Misplaced priorities again.
Over-explaining things that don't need to be explained just to set up a lame-ass Johnny Cage movie poster at the end to give us the guy that we actually wanted to see.
Lame-ass excuses just to set up fan service. That's what it is.
They made a whole movie called Mortal Kombat to set up a movie about Mortal Kombat.
They could have just said an introduction to Mortal Kombat.
Or Mortal Kombat Origins.
Yeah.
That would have been clearer.
Mm-hmm.
Or Mortal Kombat Zero or something.
Or Mortal Kombat
Sub-Zero. Anyway. So we've been shitting on this movie a lot. I just want to challenge you guys, Misha mostly, by saying things you enjoyed about it. Because I'm just going to find really easy reasons to say
I already mentioned the things that I enjoyed.
Yeah, so Misha, what did you enjoy from it?
I really liked seeing some of the fights come to life. I enjoyed them individually, I think. I just didn't like seeing the way that they were strung together as a narrative.
Which is the correct way of watching the movie.
I would have had more fun just watching the YouTube clips, honestly.
Yep.
I am still very hurt that the best part of the movie, the best 7 minutes of the movie were the first 7 minutes, and it never got better.
I have learned actually, through my years of watching movies, that if you watch a video game movie adaptation, you just turn your brain off. Just forget the story and just watch it for what you thought was cool in the game. That was the mentality going into this movie. Whatever. I know the story's gonna be bad. I'm not gonna
mentality.
Fair. That's fair. That's very fair. No, I think my...
Sorry, I just had to.
I know.
My thing is
that was a winner.
Everybody always promises that this is the movie that's going to break the video game movie curse. This one will actually be good. They always say that. Like Resident Evil 5 million, the movie will be better than the last 14 million. You know?
Tomb Raider wasn't that bad.
The Tomb Raider one was kind of boring.
No, the more recent one. The one that
it was kind of boring, I think.
Alicia Vikander's abs, though. My
God. Abs. Like, curved back.
Why do all of our conversations go back to abs?
It's me and my misplaced priorities.
Never change, you. Never change.
What else can I do when both of you are nerding out?
God, prioritize abs.
All right. So, I don't know what else to say about this. I really wish Kitano was here. I'm sorry. She was just really, really, really my favorite character. Or even that, I wish Liu Kang wasn't just such a loser. I'm sorry. He was such a loser in this movie.
Yeah, man.
1995 Liu Kang
would kick this Liu Kang's ass.
Yeah. And
with his glorious mullet.
His glorious mullet. And fine, I'll stop saying thirsty things. I'll stop at the mullet.
His abs?
No, go lower. Go lower.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, I'm gonna seem so shallow.
Too late. But
we're
already there. It's fine.
That ass.
That ass. I love Robin's show in Beverly Hills Ninja, where he was Chris Farley's brother, who kept getting beaten up because he had to fight all the ninjas that his idiot brother couldn't take out.
I love
that's the story of Snake Eyes gone wrong. You know,
I love Beverly Hills Ninja.
if it's not Snake Eyes, it's gonna be like.
Oh my God, can you imagine if that's the way the Snake Eyes movie goes? Like Henry Golding is just wannabe ninja and his Japanese brother is the one who's fighting everybody for him and he doesn't know.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's not Henry Golding, it's some overweight dude. Like, you know,
some overweight.
Like let's say you get Zach Galifianakis instead of like Henry Golding to play Snake Eyes. Or Jack Black.
I call Jack Black.
Yes,
Jack Black should be Snake Eyes.
Fucking Black. Jack Black.
Oh.
I mean, clearly Hasbro doesn't give a crap about casting him properly, so let's go with Jack Black.
Yep. All right. Going back to the movie. Going back to another franchise.
I think we just like keep going away from Mortal Kombat. Okay, to be fair. Okay. So, you know, there's so bad it's good. There's so bad, get me the fuck out of here or I'll rip my eyeballs off. And bad fun. At least for me, this was bad fun. Not bad awesome.
Yeah.
But it was still fun at some point.
Yes.
I still enjoyed seeing the moves. I still enjoyed fine. It was really douchey of them to really say all the taglines. But fine.
Like that.
It was a giggle. It was a giggle. It was a cackle. Sure. But I just wish they didn't force this whole serious story on it. Or like these origins or like the what do you call this? The mythology of Mortal Kombat and the bloodline of Cole Young. And I still, you know, I guess it just makes sense. They explained that they'd have someone new as the lead character in Cole Young so people don't play favorites with their video game preferences, which I get.
That's fair.
But it
that's
just
the fun
added
in
to
it.
But he didn't have to be boring.
Yeah, but it just added to the lack of emotional connection since you don't know or care who the fuck he is.
Yeah, because most of the emotional connections are with the characters that you actually like using in the video game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Which is why I connected with Sonya. That's why we felt like, oh, they did Sonya dirty because she wasn't a chosen one from the start. Because we love Sonya.
They did her better than Goro.
Oh, that's true.
The Tarkatan warrior. You know? Sorry. The Shokan prince.
It's gonna be so annoying when they just resurrect all the dead people for the next movie and then now Mortal Kombat begins.
Parang joke lang yung first. Ito na talaga.
Maybe they can do the same as Mortal Kombat Annihilation and kill Cole Young in the first 30 seconds.
Yes.
Oh my God.
In fact, why don't they recast him?
I won't complain.
They can recast him for Mortal Kombat 2 and then kill him in the first 30 seconds.
You know how it would be cool, Sana, like, you know how they have these movies that are straight to video of these stuntman turned actors like not even Michael J. White, like Scott Adkins. This guy.
I love Scott Adkins.
Scott Adkins is this guy who's known for being a great martial artist. You know, he's along the lines of Ray Park, but not as famous as Ray Park. Because, you know, Ray Park was Darth Maul. But he's a great performer. I wish they would get him for the next movie just because he's such a great martial artist and it's fun to watch him go against.
To be fair, yes. He has great presence. He moves great. He's less self-conscious. And yeah, he would bring some kind of authenticity while people are throwing fireballs and one-liners.
Yep.
I just wish if they do make a sequel, they make Cole smarter. Because Cole is so dumb. Okay? Not only is he boring, he's fucking dumb, okay? So at the climax,
fucking dumb.
There's a bad guy right there in front of you. Sub-Zero's right there and you're still punching ice to free your daughter. Hello!
Priorities!
I have a question, though. Why is a washed-up MMA fighter a chosen one?
Because he has a birthmark.
Okay, fine.
Maybe he's born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline. Maybe it's Mortal Kombat.
Okay. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
He leaves his family to keep them safe. So he goes to train to save the world, to protect his family. And then halfway through, he decides, this is too hard. And then he goes home to his family.
I can't find my Akana.
Despite not knowing, but Sub-Zero was still after him. Shang Tsung was still after him. He didn't know that Goro would come knocking, but, you know, he should have known that something was going to follow him back because basically his situation had not changed from the time he left his family.
Yep.
What made him think it was any safer to hang out with them now just because it's too hard to learn his Akana?
I don't know.
Maybe that explains why he's not in the UFC.
Cole Young is a moron. I'm sorry.
Yeah, kind of is. Buti na lang pogi siya.
Right, already.
Sure.
This movie was fun. Yeah, I agree. It would have to be bad fun. It doesn't even fall under that. It's so bad, it's good, but it's really bad fun.
It was bad fun, yeah, but it's not the kind. It's not the kind of thing. It's not, it's not Street Fighter. Street Fighter, I'll watch any day of the week, and I'll be laughing at the whole fucking thing because it's so stupid. This one, I'll be hate watching this. Why is this so stupid? Versus, why is this so stupid? There's a difference. You're hate watching it.
Voice acting.
You're hate watching it for its stupidity, but you're not
performance level pa.
I know. I'm so proud. Look at our VO artist podcast co-host.
Yes, naman.
Yeah, I get what you mean. It's not like it's not like if you watch it again, it's gonna be like it's gonna be like, oh my god, yeah, hate watch you'd still watch it. But
it's nice to look at.
Yeah, I mean, like, probably the next time I'd see this, I'd be fast forwarding already. Like, I don't need to see this shit. I don't need to see Cole Young.
I had a friend who sat through the first 20, 30 minutes and then he just gave up. He just started skipping to the fights. And he was still pissed off because he was already tainted by the first 20, 30 minutes. My brother, on the other hand, only watched the highlights. He skipped all the fights. And he enjoyed it for what it was. So I think, like I said, if they stopped trying to over-explain everything, it would have worked so much better, honestly. It was the over-explaining and trying to shoehorn the references that killed it for me.
Yes, which is why it just didn't seem natural.
The fights on their own are actually kind of okay. They're cool, they're gory, they're well shot, for the most part.
I mean, I
actually wished it was more gory.
Yes,
because you know the game. You know the game. It's like blood everywhere. Like, holy shit. I mean, this did have its fair amount of blood, but I wanted more.
I actually wanted more Joe Taslim in this movie because I've seen Joe Taslim in The Raid,
Oh, hell, The Raid is
oh my god, if you watch that movie, shit. Those fight scenes there are gritty, they're violent. Something worthy of a Mortal Kombat fight scene. I was just, and it's Joe Taslim. He was great. And he was partnered with, one of a veteran martial arts trained actor, in Hiroyuki Sanada. So I just wish there was more to that. Louis Tan is also a great martial artist. If you've seen him in The Wu Assassins on Netflix,
X-Force. I'm sorry.
He fought helicopter blades. I'm sorry. He was. Yeah, I mean,
I don't care who you are. You fight helicopter blades. You're not gonna win, man.
What's this guy? The guy playing Jax. His name Makad Brooks. The guy plays James Folsom in Supergirl. Even mentioned that
boring.
It's so boring, but then he even mentioned in an interview where he says Joe Taslim is a guy who's so good in his fights that he had to slow down during takes for the people to follow him.
Good for him.
Could have seen more of that. I hated his armor because he looked so bulky, you could barely see him move so agile.
Can you imagine? The guy went from Jimmy Olsen on Supergirl to being a guy with chicken arms until he found his spark. Good God.
Spark.
Ano siya, Transformer?
It sounds like soul.
The old spark.
I thought of soul.
We must find the old spark, Autobots. It is with this human.
Dumb.
Okay, so there are talks of a sequel already, and since they ended it with the possibility of Johnny Cage being there, but just for me personally, I don't mind a sequel. Okay, fine, just give me that bad fun, but I'm gonna wish for it is how I wished for Deadpool. Deadpool was a much better first movie, but the first one, just in this context, the first one was fun, but I know they could have gone more gago with it. It could have been more
That's
meta.
True.
It could have been, there's so much you could do with Deadpool, and I say the same for Mortal Kombat. And what happened for Deadpool was Deadpool 2 really delivered in the self-aware gago, all the gags, all the violence.
Yep.
The second one delivered, so I'm hoping that if ever Mortal Kombat gets a sequel, they do the same. It ends up in the same way.
I think we should learn from the feedback or reviews like these. We should learn from that. Like the way they did it for Godzilla versus Kong. compared to the second Godzilla movie, Godzilla King of the Monsters, where, half the time people are just watching humans debate over what's happening. It's just boring. And then fast forward to Godzilla versus Kong, you have the wrestling match between, radioactive lizard and gigantic ape. So that was much better than the second Godzilla movie. I hope that they're able to do that for this movie, that the succeeding movies following the first for this franchise is that, a direct response to what fans want or what people have been chiming, at the studios to see. We want our violence. We want our well-choreographed fight scenes. Just give us the more basic story because we already know what's happening. We just want what we want.
I agree completely. I hope that because I think this one has been received reasonably well. Yes. I don't know how much of that has to do with the fact that everyone's trapped at home and we have nothing else to watch. But for a lot of people, they were, moderately entertained enough, I think, to justify a sequel. And I agree with the both of you that I hope they push it further. They listen to what the reviews say or what the critics have been calling out, all the little silliness, inconsistencies, and missed opportunities. And I hope they give us a really kick-ass tournament in the next one because based on the brand name alone, they know we're going to watch it anyway. So I really hope they just take it and run with it because otherwise, I just have more fun playing Mortal Kombat on a console.
Yeah.
Final thoughts. Mortal Kombat 11, the video game, right? They were using the same guy from the 95 movie as Shang Tsung. They used his face, he used his voice. And later on in the year, they released a DLC pack with skins and voices for movie Sonya, movie Raiden, and movie Johnny Cage from 1995. Because basically
movie Raiden.
White movie Raiden.
The movie Shang Tsung.
No, he was already there. He wasn't the DLC. But for the DLC one, they brought back the other movie characters because, for better or worse, those actors playing those roles were iconic already as those characters. I don't see anything from this movie that I would welcome in the next version of the video game. I would not cheer if I saw Cole Young on my screen.
That's true.
Whether it's next week or 25 years from now, like in the actual video game where we're playing the 1995 versions.
He really had the lamest superpowers. I mean, like
Billy Club.
You beat on this 4-armed monster with stupid sticks.
Sticks.
They are essentially sticks.
The worst part is that the monster lost. That's the worst part.
Exactly.
I actually would have accepted, I'll get you next time, or I'll get you in the tournament, or something. I don't know. Or I'll come back for you, Stickman.
Stickman. Low-rent Aquaman cosplay with sticks. Beat on a 4-armed gigantic warrior prince. Whatever.
It wasn't even his power that helped him win. It was the uppercut.
Uppercut, Dad. Uppercut.
Who's an uppercut, Dad? It's like a Rocky moment.
Fucking Ring Man was 11 years old.
Well, I'll think about it in the sense like, okay, I'll just take from whatever this movie gave me. I'll try not to associate myself with that. I'll try not to associate it with the first 1995 movie that I watched before it or the game, but like taking it as it is, fine. It was fun at some point. Even if I take away the expectation of the Mortal Kombat or tournament that should really actually be there. But okay, even if that's not there, was it great? Did they justify not doing the tournament? I wish they did, but they didn't. And now that I think about it, if it is sad for me that this generation that gets to play the new video games and what gets to watch this movie, they don't know how epic the first 1995 one unless they really seek it out. But like what they get from growing up in this generation, I don't know if it's just me being old or sentimental to the 1995 one, but this wasn't as epic or fun.
Yeah,
it was neither epic or
came
fun.
out. It blew everybody's mind. It wasn't bloody by any stretch because it was a PG movie. It wasn't rated R like this one. But the theme song alone, people were going nuts. It was ridiculous.
It's still so funny how they had French ninjas in that movie.
There was so much wrong with it, but then it was just so iconic for some reason. But this, I don't see it in that status.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't think anybody's going to be downloading skins from this movie 25 years from now. And then whatever
definitely not
exists.
Final thoughts about this movie. If I were to rate the story is like a 3 over or 2 over 10. Fight scenes are a little above average, so probably 8 over 10. Overall cappiness, probably around 11 out of 11, just because they were overcompensating for what the movie failed to do. 11 over 10, sorry, not 11 over 11. That's it. I take it as it is. It's a perfect movie. If you're really looking for something, if you're really tired from work, you're looking for something to watch, play in the background, it's kind of unwind or watch something. So it's the right movie to watch. But if you're watching for something, if you're looking for something that had a story that had to be cohesive or something that was compelling, this is definitely not the movie to watch.
I just hope that one day we get to the point where we can watch a video game movie and we can say something along the lines of that was pretty good. Not good for a video game movie, but just pretty good.
Yeah, I
don't know what the hell that movie will be, but
who knows? It might be Uncharted.
I don't know, but I don't know what that movie will be, but it sure as hell ain't this one.
I will say one thing. I will watch this movie over the Tekken movie.
The Tekken movie was straight to video and it was crap.
It wasn't straight to video. It
wasn't?
Theaters. No.
Oh my God.
To be fair, if you bring up... Yes, it was in cinemas. I do remember.
Why?
Okay, which made things worse because you had the main character named Jin Kazama, who's Japanese, played by a white dude.
Like Dragon Ball Evolution, which I may or may not have paid money to watch.
I think it was the same guy who played Goku.
Oh my God, why?
I think.
I have no high ground. I also paid for The Legend of Chun-Li, but anyways.
Ew.
Ew.
I said I had high ground.
To be fair,
I got it on Fox Movies and on TV. I didn't bother to finish that movie. I would take this Mortal Kombat over Legend of Chun-Li.
I hate to say it, but so would I.
That is true.
Would I.
That is true, actually. Yeah, to be fair, I would take this over Legend of Chun-Li and that, oh my God, Tekken. That was that was complete garbage. I did not laugh or get amused once.
No.
Well,
that was total garbage. So at least this had fun parts. I don't even remember. I was just remember being so bad.
For what it's worth, the filmmaker's self-awareness of the fan service or what fans would be looking for was there, which was completely the point of me watching this movie.
I wouldn't say self-aware, but just blatant.
Yeah.
I mean, he had to be aware of these things.
Yeah, but the way they assembled it was so tone deaf that I really don't think there was any self-awareness.
I don't think it was tone deaf. I think it was just, they wanted to put it in initially, but they just couldn't find the right spot.
It was references for the sake of references.
That's what fan service is.
That's laziness. You can do fan service that isn't insulting.
I wasn't insulted by it. I had fun with it because I knew I'd be getting it at some point. The fact that it was a barrage made it fun for me.
Yeah, I'm just gonna watch the kills, the awesome kills.
The Cum Laude kill was my favorite.
Awesome kills.
Yeah, but that was already in the Red Band trailer. So basically, you saw most of the good stuff in the trailer already.
The Cum Laude kill was in the Red Band trailer?
It was.
So I guess you could watch the first 7 minutes and then the trailer / highlights like what Nisha's brother did. Save yourself a lot of time.
I was so excited to see Goro, especially when we saw him in the trailer when he was jumping. Oh, an agile Goro! That's so cool. And
then he died like a wuss behind a barn.
With sticks.
Oh, God.
And an uppercut.
Uppercut, Dad!
It's not even a fucking Shoryuken. Not even a fucking Shoryuken.
Wrong franchise.
I know. I am completely aware that's the wrong franchise. Like, if there's any uppercut that can kill a fighter or a gigantic 4-armed monster, it would be a fucking Shoryuken.
Fair enough.
Wouldn't it be funny if he actually said Shoryuken in a Mortal Kombat movie? How weird would that be? Would there be like a copyright issue?
And
There
then
would
Louis
be a
Tan would do
couple.
it with his one facial expression.
Yeah.
Yeah, but well, a sequel is on the way. A sequel might be on the way, so let's just hope it's better. In the meantime, I guess we could just like play the video games and just have fun with whatever we got for 2021. Like
Yep.
we have a choice.
Yeah, I mean, like Joe Taslim signed on for four or five more movies if they were gonna make sequels. That's the podcast.
I legit don't know where to end this.
So that's it, guys. If you're looking for 90s references or any, great video game self-awareness things, it's definitely not this movie.
Nope. But it's fun for what it is. And I guess if you do love the video game, then you're still gonna find somewhere in your heart to like it and have fun with it. But just give your brain a rest for a while, I guess. Don't use it. I don't recommend you use your brain.
Overthink the movie.
It's been 2 weeks. Anjo's brain
Don't
is still on
think,
vacation.
Excuse me. Excuse me. I just watched High Fidelity this morning, so I'm good.
Wow. Congrats.
Now I really want to find my copy of the book.
Which reminds me, I feel like we gotta make an episode that's not an action movie or a superhero movie.
Can we do a good movie next time?
Yes.
I know, because we've been like in a stretch of like really bad
movies,
or like or
superhero
action
movies.
or superhero stuff.
Can we do?
So that's your homework, guys. Hit us up on Facebook in our group, Sub-Auteurs We Like Movies. Let us know what you want us to cover next, because we are just all strung out. No superhero movies, no explosions, no action movies, and please don't make us do another one as bad as Mortal Kombat. Let us know in the comments what you want to hear.
Bad. It wasn't bad.
Shut up!
Scorpio. Johnny
All right. So thank you for listening to another bad movie rant, aka another Sub-Auteurs episode. And hopefully we can talk about something good next time. But for the meantime, I'm MJ.
Misha? Shoot. There's no way to make my name sound threatening. There's no way.
Misha. No.
Mikhail.
I tried.
Yeah, I appreciate the F. Yeah, that works, I guess.
I'm Johnny. I sound like Anna Faris from House Bunny. It's like it's how she remembers things.
It helps her remember their names. Thanks, everyone. We'll catch you guys next week. Dun, 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 dun.
Mortal Kombat! Ow, my throat hurts now.